What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another run here on ATS. Today we got a heavy haul load that we are doing. We have a John Deere 8370R weighing 29,423 pounds, heading to Oakdale to Organic Valley Farms. We got plenty of time to make the run. We are in Santa Maria right now. We're heading up to Oakdale. So nice little run, probably mostly highway, right up the 101 here. So we are going to get rolling here. Something different about this truck. You'll notice when I fire it up here. We have a Detroit diesel Series 60. Now, let's go ahead and raise our suspension up. And drop down that pusher. So we're going to try running the old Detroit diesel and see how you like that. Oh shit, I gotta go right. What excellent looking truck. I took the paint scheme and things off of a truck from, I want to say, Beggar or Beager Enterprises. Theirs, however, does not have the pusher. Otherwise, the paint and configuration is all the same. Whoa. But they do not have the pusher. What in the fuck? There's another John Deere and a combine. Yeah, definitely a nice looking rig. I definitely dig it. We're actually going to get our flashers on here. Kick on our lights here, so we got our lights on our be-doos going here. But yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. Figure I'd do this run here. Maybe talk a little bit about heavy haul type stuff. Some regulations, some different things. Now, depending on what state you're in, you have different configurations you can go with, different weights. Now, Michigan, you can have, what is it, 110,000 pounds? Something like that. However, there's a certain amount of weight per axle, which is why you'll see what they call a Michigan train, which is one or multiple trailers with like 7-8 axles underneath the damn thing. Now, I don't see anything like that here in Wisconsin, because in Wisconsin it is still 80,000 pounds. However, also in Wisconsin you are not required to have a pusher axle. It is a certain amount of weight, and that's what it is. You can get permits to haul oversized things. When I worked at the Case IH dealer, they had T800 day cab and a Freightliner Coronado day cab, and neither one of them had floats or a pusher. So really, I wouldn't really necessarily need the pusher or the floats for this particular load, nor the combine that I'm going to haul either, or any articulated tractor. Now I don't understand, now in the game, and of course it's SCS, so why they chose to do it that way is, well, it's whatever. It could be due to state regulations or whatever, depending on what is in California and things like that. I'm not real sure. But we never hauled anything with a Jeep or a Stinger. It wasn't. It was just this normal lowboy like this with combines on it or whatever. Now I'm not saying it's not more stress on the truck. It very well could be more stress on trailer and things like that. However, we never had that. So for me, this is what I'm used to seeing haul equipment around me. And as a general rule in the Midwest, this is what you're going to see. Obviously, there are trucks that haul equipment with a sleeper on it because they need to go further than 12 hours, 11 hours, or whatever. Obviously, those trucks exist, but I do tend to see a lot of day cabs hauling heavy things, and a lot of that has to do with saving some weight, and especially from a dealership standpoint. You really don't need a sleeper. Your region of where you're hauling equipment doesn't usually justify having a sleeper. Not usually, but it's ultimately up to the dealership and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's, if you don't need the sleeper, there's no point in having it on there. So you can save yourself a little bit of weight by putting a lowboy on a day cab truck. I mean, you're going to save, I don't know, a couple thousand pounds, which doesn't seem like much, but that adds up. Especially if you're hauling a tractor with duals or whatever the case may be, or maybe you're trying to haul a tractor and a deep ripper. Well, you've got the extra wiggle room for that extra weight. So there's that. Now the only other thing that, from my experience, obviously, they didn't have a pusher axle, but they did have heavier front and rear axles to accommodate for the weight. Now I don't know why they didn't run floats. It is less wear and tear when you run floats, to my understanding, from guys that I have talked to, because you're spreading that weight out across a wider tire versus a normal steer tire. So, which brings me around to the pusher axle. Now, the reason the pusher axle, I have it on there, is because a lot of people, guys that haul equipment, do have a pusher axle around me. A lot of them actually do. And from talking to those guys, it saves wear and tear on your drive tires, because you've got that pusher taking some of that weight off your drive tires. Which, I can definitely understand why you'd want to do that. Yeah, you've got the expense of the pusher and the tires and everything, but if you can save some money and not wear your tires out as fast, because the damn things are what, $1,000 a piece. And that also kind of depends on your distributor and what kind of deals you can get. Maybe you can get them for $700 a piece. I don't know. I think a lot of that comes down to your tire supplier. But yeah, that running a pusher is definitely something that a lot of guys will do to save their drive tires from getting so much weight put on them. Because if you can spread that weight out over 3 axles, or 4 axles rather than 3, you know, that's less stress per tire. Hold on, I'm turning up here pretty quick anyway, so let's just roll here in this spot. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with this Detroit. She seems to have decent power. Sounds pretty decent. Now I'm not saying that I'm going to switch all over to Detroits because I like my N14 Cummins, but this is not a bad power plant in this unit. Now actually there has been, like, Fitzgerald, of course glider kits are no longer a thing, but like Peak Transfer that's over by me, like they might be, what, 20 minutes from my house at most. They, pretty much all their trucks are from Fitzgerald. Now they have ordered new ones the last couple years with DEF and things like that, with, you know, the usual emissions. They're not gliders anymore, and I'm thinking that Fitzgerald is just basically a custom truck builder now. I believe you can build it any way you want, but with the emissions intact. Now I know some of Pete's transfer trucks have the Detroit Series 60. Their glider kits, that is. Now supposedly the 60 Series Detroit is one of the more popular engines, you know, as far as glider kits go. I mean, you've got your 3406s and your N14s, but supposedly the Series 60 Detroit was a very popular engine to put in glider kits. Shit. I am just wrecking this fucking trailer. But I don't know. I mean, I've never had no issues with people running Detroit. They sound nice. Supposedly they get about the best fuel mileage. They say, from guys I've talked to, Detroit's get better fuel mileage. Cummins usually has a little more grunt, especially low-end grunt. And Caterpillars are about indestructible, but they're fucking expensive as hell. So, I don't know. I guess to each their own. But anyways, back to heavy hauling stuff. Sorry, I got on a tangent here. But like I said, if you can spread that weight over 4 axles instead of 3, I mean, it makes sense that you're saving tires. Now you do have extra braking power by having a pusher, but it's not the saving grace. Like, you can't, you know, just kind of use the pusher once in a while and then when it comes time to doing brakes, fuck it, you know what, we got the pusher, that'll save us. No. That isn't going to work that way. And plus having more weight, you're probably going to be about the same as what you normally would have as far as braking power. But it's one of those things that, you know, I guess to each their own. It kind of comes down to preference in a lot of ways. Like I said, in Wisconsin, there's not a law saying if you have so many pounds, you have to have a pusher. It's just 80,000 pounds across the board, or whatever your permit says. That's what you can haul. It's not. There's no got to be a certain percentage of weight per tire. I mean, granted, you know, you got to follow the rules and stuff as far as how much weight on the front axle and rear axles and things like that. But yeah, there's no laws in Wisconsin that say you have to have a pusher, that you have to have front floats. I think it comes down to driver preference, company preference, whatever. And especially if you own your own truck, you can do whatever the hell you damn well please. So there's that. And it also does seem that around me, a lot of the people that haul equipment are generally working for themselves. At least from my experience of the haulers that I have met. Now, when I worked at the Case IH dealer, there was 3 company drivers. Oh yeah, I forgot. We had a Freightliner rollback too. That thing was a fucking pain in the ass to drive. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was. It fucking sucked. I hated that fucking piece of shit. But granted, they didn't have the choice of whether or not they got front floats or whatever. One of the drivers that worked at that dealership at the time that I did, I had talked to him and about, I'm like, why don't they put floats on there? And this guy's name was Dennis, and he said, I wish they would. There are a lot of benefits to it. Again, tire wear and things like that, but also better, you know, steering capability and things like that. Now, however, in the wintertime, he said that floats can be a pain in the ass because you're not getting as much weight on the front, so sometimes it has the, you know, tendency to want to go straight instead of turn with the front floats. Now, in my particular setup, I have the floats on the front and I also have the floats on the pusher axle as well. I felt that that's not only the look I wanted to go for, but I also just wanted that. That is a common thing that I see with the oversized floats on the front and on the pusher as well. And I also wanted to go with the steerable pusher because it makes maneuvering easier. Now in the game, it really doesn't make any damn difference. In the game, it is what it is. You're not, you know, it doesn't affect anything to have a steering pusher versus a solid. But I wanted to go with that look, so that's the way I went. And I always thought steerable pushers were a lot cooler. Now let's see, they want it, oh okay, over here. Of course you want it in there. I think we are going to have to back this up over this direction and then pull basically like we're trying to pull back out with it, and then go ahead and back it up in the spot from that way. Now let's see if I can do this. Let's pull forward just a little bit more. Now, I don't know if 29,000 pounds is really accurate for this particular truck, or this particular tractor. I'm thinking it probably weighs closer to 30, you know, if not 35. Because by all rights, you could haul this damn thing with a pickup and a gooseneck. See how we're doing here? Not too bad. Oh yeah, you can see out the back window, which is a handy feature with a day cab. Ooh, we are getting probably pretty close. Yep, just about to rub on that damn silo here. We're going to go ahead and back this in, hopefully, on this try. But it's looking like probably not. Well, maybe. Set our parking brake here. See how good. Well, you know what? Not bad. I'm going to run with it and fuck it. Matter of fact, let's pick that back up. We don't need it no more, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why it dropped my truck suspension, but I guess. So, anyways, that's going to go ahead and do it for the run, you guys. So, till next episode, which we're probably, hopefully going to be doing the combine next. So, we'll see you then, and take her easy.